Every so often I need the stand because otherwise this turns into like a Sicilian nunchuck. You'd like to see that, wouldn't you? Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yes. Oh, wow. I love the sound of my own voice. And, well, you know, and given this room, I'm willing to bet I'm in good company. Yes. Because really, what's not to love about your voice? When I was 3 years old, I decided that my voice gave me powers. I would sit on the floor with my trusty tape recorder. Do you remember those? I just dated myself. And because I knew that I could improve on nursery rhymes. Because you see, you know, Humpty Dumpty didn't need to fall off that wall. He had just had a friend there to help him down. And if little Miss Muffet had maybe been eating something less attractive to spiders, she wouldn't have been scared, and there would have just been a lot of pain and suffering avoided. So we needed to change that. I also decided to give myself some additional superpowers of walking through walls and X-ray vision. Anyone else ever have X-ray vision in their camp? Yeah. Of course, it helped that we were building our house at the time and our walls weren't finished yet, so they were stud walls, so I could actually walk through. But it didn't matter. I had X-ray vision and I could walk through walls. I see you, Mommy. So, oh my God, I don't have my security podium. Okay. So, here is this voice that I had, and everybody's got powers of their voice. But you know, where does it come from? What is it? What is it? You know, your voice is your genius. Your voice is what makes you unique, what makes you magnetic to the rest of the world. But how do you find it? So if you really want to know where your voice is, what makes you great, ask somebody who knows you really well. What am I really good at that I don't give myself enough credit for? Because our voice, our genius, is what comes easiest to us. We have this weird mistaken impression that we have to work really hard to achieve something in order to get credit for it. But our voice and our genius lives in this place of freedom and ease and growth, and that's where your genius is, that's where your voice is. When you find yourself talking about something and you can't stop, and you're excited, and the people around you are excited, and you're passionate, and they're passionate, and you're nodding, and they're nodding, even if they have no idea what you're talking about. You know you are speaking with your voice. My life changed forever when I was 7 years old at the Erie County Fair. Now my parents, Michelle noted I have 4 generations of entrepreneurs, and my parents had a wood-burning stove and fireplace shop, and we lived upstairs and the shop was downstairs, and I was the only kindergartner who knew what double wall stovepipe was, which made me real popular. But they would always set up booths at the county fairs and the little town fairs and the home shows, and the fair is a very different experience when you spend every day, all day there. You do not get money for rides, and you do not get cotton candy, and you learn really fast to make your own fun. But fortunately for me, this was the late 70s, where children still could run free. So I was making my own fun, and I was wandering around, kind of contemplating the homemade fudge and the deer jerky and the crocheted nasties and, you know, all these things that are going on at the fair. And I heard this voice. It was like the voice that had given me the superpowers. I knew it. And I had to find it. I had to find the source of this voice. It was like a laser kind of cutting through the noise of the fair. And I'll never forget it because my life was completely changed that day. And I remember what it said. In Japan, the hand can be used to cut like a knife. But this does not work with a tomato. And that is why we have the ginsu, the knife that no kitchen can be without. You can, but ginsu can cut a slice of bread so thin you can almost see through it. You can chop wood and it still keeps its razor sharp edge. It cuts through tomatoes and tin cans with equal ease and slices through frozen food like melted butter. This is a knife that will last forever. How much would you pay for a knife like this? But don't answer that, not yet. Because we will give you this fork with it to make carving a pleasure. Oh, yes. And you know what? That is not all. We will give you this versatile 6-in-1 kitchen tool because, ladies and gentlemen, this amazing little knife grates and slices carrots. It grates and peels potatoes. It makes razor-thin potato chips. It grates cheese, it grates carrots, and it makes beautiful decorative vegetables. How much would you pay for all of this? But yet there is still more. We will give you the set of precision steak knives. The handles match the ginsu. And just to make the offer completely irresistible, ladies and gentlemen, we will give you this spiral slicer down and down, around and around, and now you have this beautiful decorative centerpiece for your Sunday roast. Ladies and gentlemen, you get the ginsu. You get the fork, you get the set of 6 precision steak knives, you get the 6-in-1 tool, and you get the spiral slicer, all with a 50-year guarantee for only $9.95. Ladies and gentlemen, we have them here. Come up and buy one now. You are not getting that back. I was trans. You don't get anything for it. And now back to the speech. I was transfixed. I was literally transformed. I was a ginsu acolyte. This was the power of voice. I watched this presentation over and over again, and I watched person after person walk away with a brand new set of shiny knives and all of the free gifts. And I thought, this is power. This is the power to change people's lives, to show them a better tomorrow. And then I discovered there was more. I discovered ShamWow. Waterless cookware. And I went back to my parents' booth and I showed them word for word everything I had learned, much to their puzzlement. my purpose that day. I did. Your voice is your soul's purpose being expressed, and I knew that day that it was my purpose to use my voice to help people, to show them something that maybe they hadn't considered before that might just make a difference for them. All with a Kinsu knife. Now, sometimes we get concerned that our one voice can't make a difference in the world. You know, one voice out of billions and billions, how can it make a difference? But really, that goes against the very laws of nature. We think as human beings, because we know how to adapt to nature in many ways, and we can adapt to the seasons, that we're somehow above the laws of the seasons and how things change. And this causes us pain. Every time you use your voice, you plant a seed. And you can't tell who that seed is going to grow inside of, or how big it's going to get, or when it's going to bloom, or who's going to harvest the fruit. But we have to allow nature and the seasons to take their course. We have to allow the seasons to unfold the way they were designed so that the harvest can happen. And the more seeds you plant, the better your odds. And there was a time where I felt like my voice was stolen. And the circumstances aren't important. We've often had that experience as humans where we felt like suddenly the box was getting very tight and we're getting very squished in. And I had this belief that I had to be good and I had to follow the rules, and I had to be, Barbie's best friend, the chubby friend down the hall, Tina. And here was I, quiet. That's my husband. Because I was the two-year-old who had decided that any flat, raised surface constituted a stage that clearly needed to be used. But there was a time where I was quiet. But clearly that phase passed. As phases do. And we say this to children. We say, about children, it's just a phase. We say that about kids, but we should be saying it about ourselves. It's just a phase. It'll pass. Because your voice can't be denied. When we were kids, they told us, use your inside voice. But it was the outside voice. No one ever said, use your outside voice. The outside voice is what we wanted to use. The only thing certain in this life is death. And if you're up on religion, you know that even we're still debating about what's happening there. So, every single one of you, I want to give you the opportunity right now to use your outside voice. 1, 2, 3. So remember, use your outside voice.